Am I in the camera from right here?
Girl, I don't want to be in the camera.
Fuck off.
Why you yelling?
Now I'm yelling.
Okay.
Now I'm yelling.
Hey, shit, it sound like it to me.
I didn't yell, but I can.
Are you alright? What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode, another installment, another pop-up, a pop-out of the keynote address. The live in studio audience is still here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's nothing. Alright, so today on the show, I got a good friend of mine, a good neighbor of mine, a good person in my life. Let's go ahead and give it up for Radaya. Okay.
Go crazy.
Let's see, should I? So, do people, how do you pronounce your name? And I'm going to say how I heard it.
Radaya.
And then you,
Radaya.
now you're just going to tell me right away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People say it Rhodesia.
No, I done heard Radaya and Radaya.
Yeah, it's both.
Them is the only two I hear.
Radaya is the black people way.
Radaya.
Uh-huh.
And Radaya.
It's the right way.
Her.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Radaya, Ellis, also, this is Miss Big4 shit in the building. Miss 4waukee sitting next to me. And if you haven't heard my intro, have you heard my intro to my podcast?
I think so.
Let's hear it again. Okay, because why not? Why not?
Damn, Diesel, this that pressure.
Grab a drink, yeah. Grab a drink and go slow. Time to get lit with the keynote show. And you know what's next. Tune into the keynote address, yeah. Grab your weed and just roll. Time to get high with the keynote show. And you know what's next. Tune into the keynote address, yeah. Grab a drink but go slow. Grab some weed and want some more. Don't you already know? It's the keynote address, yeah. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the keynote address. Keynote address. I'm your host, Keynote the Bishop, and we gon' discuss. Let's go. Grab your weed and just roll. Time to get high with the keynote show. And you know what's next. Tune into the keynote address, yeah. Mama, we made. Come on. If that's not a hit, DJ Khaled would be like, what'd he say? Another one? Like,
Yeah.
another one. I don't say it like him, no.
Another one.
Another one. Okay, y'all, but let's give it up for Miss Radaya Ellis in the building one more time on the keynote address. We about to pop our big shit, our Big4 shit. I love just say do that not roll off the tongue?
Don't it?
Of course it do, because you didn't say it if it wouldn't. Okay. So for the live in studio audience and the people watching at home, you already know how we do this. Y'all might not know who my guest is, so I give them a little 30-second elevator pitching time, all right? You know what a 30-second elevator pitch is?
I believe so.
Okay, because you educated. You went to college. Y'all did that. Y'all was like, come up here, introduce yourself for 30 seconds. Tell the people, you know, who you are, what you do, da-da-da-da, bada-bada bing, bada-bada boom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're going to get 30 seconds just to tell the people about Radaya Ellis. Radaya Ellis.
Okay, so I start now? Or?
You start now.
Boom. So it's Radaya, Ride Like the God. Shout out to that. And I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. I am the owner and operator of 4waukee. I just got promoted to the managing strategist at Ep2 Research and Evaluation. I'm also part owner of my family business, Standards Excellence Education and Training Center. What else? The 4 shit is ginormous.
It's huge.
Talk about it. It's Big4 on the hoe.
Up, and there it is, Big4 on the hoe. And let me tell you,
In case you didn't know.
Listen, if I was the CEO and you was on my building, you was in my floor, I'd be like, oh yeah, you come up here with me.
Come on. Okay.
Come on. You sound like you know what you're doing.
I do.
First of all, we give it up for the confidence, because I love that's what I do. And listen, the way you articulate yourself, like your resume, it speaks for itself. And I just want to say, like, for black people everywhere, thank you for being an example. You know what I'm saying? No, we really appreciate it, because I ain't going to say we don't have a lot of examples, but it's always good to have another one.
Talk about it.
Did y'all get a close-up?
Never take.
Because I'm doing it for y'all. But no, you can't never have too many examples. You hear me? Okay, so you gave us a whole bunch of stuff. When did you start this 4waukee Big4 shit? What year? When was that established?
Okay. 4 shit. How my love for the city has been for forever.
Get it?
Talk about it.
For forever.
For forever.
I didn't catch it.
And I guess like being proud to be from Milwaukee came when I went to Whitewater. They tried to like spin us off like we was dirty or some shit. I didn't even like that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a thing. And then recognizing like, okay, who I am and where I come from and what made me, almost all of that come from Milwaukee. So why not lift that up, shine light on it, and glorify it?
Come on.
That's what it is.
That sounds good.
In terms of propelling for shit outside of myself, that didn't go crazy until like 2017.
Oh, listen, I can't wait to talk about 2017. But first, we're going to talk about this new game. And the studio audience loves this game. This game is called Wild Thoughts. Okay? I love Wild Thoughts. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to give you 3 clues. And then you're going to have 2 guesses to figure out what this thing is.
Okay. It's like a riddle or something?
I mean, it's an object, and I'm just going to give you 2 clues. It's not a riddle. It's going to be very straightforward. It's going to tell you exactly what it does.
Okay. Well,
and you're going to have 2 chances.
Okay.
I'm thinking about giving you a time limit, but you're kind of smart.
Okay.
But you never know. It's Wild Thoughts.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
When I am not well, I drip. Wild Thoughts. Okay, because that's already wild in my head. But one more. When I am not well, I drip.
A faucet.
It's not a faucet. But I'm going to give you these next 2 clues now. Well, actually, I'm going to give you 3 chances. So that was your first guess. You got 2 more. Let's go. You ready?
Okay, what was the clues?
The first one is when I'm not well, I drip. The second one is I am a protrusion that comes in many sizes. Wild Thoughts.
Protrusion means to go out.
Y'all saw that? Out. Wild Thoughts. And it's the same thing, like, cause still, when I'm not well, I drip. So these all go together. All these clues go together. So I'm a protrusion that come in many sizes, and when I am not well, I drip. Wild Thoughts. I love this game.
Is it something to do with a tree?
It is not a tree, but this your last clue. When you blow me, I feel good. Hello. When you blow me, I feel good. I am a protrusion that comes in many sizes. And when I am not well, that's like sick. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not well, I drip. Wild Thoughts. Wow. We can't say that because Rihanna will sue me. She got too much money.
No.
Ah, okay, you got it right. You cheated. I don't know who gave you that. Live in studio audience. Y'all gotta chill. Okay, you ready? That was good. Wild Thoughts. Y'all ready? Here go the next one.
I was getting.
You was on there.
I was so literal.
Yeah, I love that. Here we are. You stick your pole inside me.
Wow.
Wild Thoughts. You hear me?
Okay, I stick my pole inside you.
Okay, no guesses yet?
Nope.
I like that talk about. Let's get some more. Get some more to go off of. Okay. You tie me down to get me up. Wow. Wild Thoughts.
You stick what?
You stick your pole inside me. You tie me down to get me up. Wild Thoughts.
Stick your hole inside me. Tie me down to get me up. Is it a 10?
Girl, you good. You are good. It's a 10. The last one was I get wet before you do. Okay? Drizzle. All right, last Wild Thoughts game. Last Wild Thoughts. Y'all ready? I love it. This is first of all the studio audience's favorite game. And when I say the studio audience, I really be talking about me.
Okay.
Because I love this game. All right, here we go.
Got it.
This is good. I mean, we got the live studio audience. Don't get it twisted. But I'm a part of that.
Okay,
I be like, woo. Okay. All right, here we go. This is the next one. I assist an erection. Wild Thoughts. And they said erection, so.
I assist an erection. There could be a number of things. What else?
Okay, yeah. Sometimes balls hang from me. Wild Thoughts. Wow. Okay, I love saying that because we will get sued. I know Rihanna. Well, I don't know her personally, but.
An erection.
Sometimes balls hang from me. Yeah. Sometimes.
I got a question before we start. Is it sexual?
It's wild thoughts. Okay, it's wild thoughts. That's what it is.
Okay, so.
You never know wild thoughts.
It assists in erection and sometimes has both.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wild thoughts. That's what I was about to say. Wild thoughts. That's all I can say. I'm gonna give you this last clue.
Okay.
I'm called a big swinger. Wild thoughts.
I'm quite a big swinger. Sometimes has balls.
Yeah, you try to. I just started cheating and looking at my paper,
Cut
and
it
I
out.
knew it. I knew
Cut
you
it
would be doing
out.
that on this show.
Hey, cut it out.
If she get it, I'm. Yeah. What is it?
I want to say a bat.
Okay, that's one, but that's not it. And I'll give you another clue because you didn't guess yet. You got one more. Make it good. Wild thoughts. Wow. So your audience, what y'all think? Y'all don't say it out loud, but y'all got some? Y'all think something? No. Uh-oh. Now we done stumped the people. Okay. You didn't win nothing. It's okay if you get it wrong. But I feel that. It's the pressure to be right.
I don't know.
It's the pressure. I just need one more guess.
Balls hanging from me.
Balls do be hanging from me.
Assistant erection.
I do assist in the direction.
What's the last one?
I'm called a big swinger. Hey, big swinger. Wild thoughts.
Okay, I don't know.
You don't want to give me one guess? Just one guess. You said a bat. What you think, studio audience? Where y'all at? Oh, not you gonna sing the song. Okay, it's a crane. A crane.
Why don't I not think of that?
It assists in erections of erecting buildings. Sometimes it has the wrecking ball or balls that swing from them. And they call him a big swinger up in New York.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know where they call it, but I can see
Not
it.
you made the New York part of it.
No, I didn't. It was in the game. Wild thoughts. Y'all, let's give it up for Radaya for playing that game. She got two out of the three. And I'll clap it up for that too. For sure.
For sure.
All right, so we get into the next part. We are moving right along. This is the time where I want you to take a second. You can even grab the bleezy if you want to. Take a second.
Okay.
Think about, everywhere you done been in your life. The ups, the downs, the turns, the detours. Okay, come on. The pullovers, just cause. The speeding, the slowing down. All that in your life. And I want you to kind of think about where you at now. And when I ask you this question, I just want you to answer that question. Okay? Okay, you ready? Radaya. Where you at?
I am at a point in my life where I am determining and then standing on what it is and what it's going to be. And what it is being whatever that may be at that time where I need to determine what I need to do and then stand on it. And I'm at that point because in some instances I feel like I was just allowing life to happen to me. And then in other instances I wasn't using my power to like make the life I want happen for me. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm being intentional, thinking before I act. Asking questions if I'm not sure.
I'm so excited. I'm bubbling up to say something because this is all good.
The clarity is upon me.
Yeah. That reminds me of the Serenity Prayer so much. Like, Lord, grant me to help me out, somebody. Just grant me the strength to change the things I can change. The knowledge or the courage to accept the things that I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of our times in our lives, like it's hard to tell the difference between things we can change and things we can't change. Based off of like what we were taught, what we see, just a lot of different things, or what we experienced, and that's never not necessarily always the case.
It's more so not real, right? And recognizing, or it's not the only reality. That's clearly real. Somebody living it, but like it's no fixed reality for how I want to live my life. So now it's determining like what is it then?
So do you, when you think about your life, do you like plan, not even say plan the future, but like have a vision for the future, or are you just like, it is what it is gonna be and I'm just doing what I can do for now?
Oh, okay. So I'm recognizing like, okay, shout out to where I am.
Shout out to where you at.
So being an Afrofuturist, you are
Push pause. What's an Afrofuturist?
I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh, let me shut up.
So being an Afrofuturist, you recognize that like what you doing now impacts the future, right? And then the past is impacting both now and the future. So I'm like, I'm taking it as it is, but I'm also recognizing I have the power to dictate what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I have, and so recognizing that, so I am allowing life to happen, right? And then I'm assessing where I can, like, do me in that instance of like, no, this gonna happen because I want it to happen. Right, there are some things above me, but and more often than not, things are working for me. So they gonna work with me in terms of working against me, right?
For sure.
So if it's working against me, I ain't gonna be around long.
So, how did that change your mindset to change your mindset? Like, how did you realize that was like, oh, okay, well now I need to start moving like this because. Like, was it a few instances, or like was it just like a moment of clarity when it just clicked? You know what I'm saying?
So I'll like leverage this and say I didn't necessarily change my mindset. It was just an activation of what's next, right? Like so like I guess previously I was learning life, right, and like learning how it influenced me. Now I need to apply that for me to influence life. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like recognizing like I'm walking into leadership positions. What do it mean? Like people looking to me for knowledge. What do I have? You know what I'm saying? Like my value is being seen outside of my family. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like how do I use that? Like what's rest? You know what I'm saying? Like
I talk about that all the time.
Talk about it. So that's where I'm at right now. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's reassessing not necessarily who I'm gonna be, but what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, like how you move now. I fuck with that. That's real. So, speaking of real, we were talking about 2017 at one point.
Shout out to that.
And let's talk about what's really real. What's real in 2017 was the whole like push through of Big4 shit going on, 4waukee, that whole envisionment, correct?
Yeah, that's when so 2017 is when I like came back to Milwaukee and was like, oh yeah, I ain't leaving. Right, because recognizing when you leave Milwaukee or when you go to school or when you oftentimes travel, you could look at or you could potentially view Milwaukee as like it's not shit or it's more out there or it's like I gotta leave to accomplish more.
For sure,
right.
Yeah,
but
I've been there.
I had stayed here and learned the opposite of that. Right, I didn't experience that, so I didn't feel the need to leave. Yeah. So when that was the case, I'm like, oh, let's go. So one, I recognize like, damn, motherfuckers don't even know what's going on. That's part of the problem why people don't stay. Yeah. Right, and then recognizing like, what does it mean to be proud of Milwaukee? If all the messaging is negative, if most of the experience we have are traumatizing, right? Like, where being real and recognizing that, like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So. That's where that 4 shit came, and being for real and passionate about it was like just easy because I was already having friends who was cold, so it was making me feel good. Like I had love around me who was from Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? That made me feel good. Like I didn't come back and feel outcasted, you know what I'm saying? And that made me feel good.
I think one thing you were talking about was like when you get the chance to leave Milwaukee for an extended period of time, and you said it either looks like what I came from ain't shit or the other way around. And so I feel like that one perspective is super huge because like me I went to Arkansas for college. I was gone for 6 years, not because I'm stupid, just because I like to party. Don't tell people like, oh, he was failing. No, okay, well, I graduated. So anyway, but just being able to like, when I went there, more so opened my eyes to the perspective of like, not Milwaukee ain't shit, but like it's so much more to the world. I wasn't even viewing Milwaukee with that lens.
That part, like
You know what
Milwaukee
I'm
part
saying?
of the world though.
Literally,
You gotta remember that.
Literally, like, and the fact that there's so much in the world. Like you view cultures differently, you view people differently, you view activities differently, you view like music differently. Like you look for different inspirations because when you go to a different culture, you hear a whole bunch of new inspirations. You're like, oh, I never knew this existed. And so like that can really, like you say, either lessen your viewpoint of where you from or broaden it depending on your perspective. Yeah. But I feel like when I came back to Milwaukee, my eyes was open. Like I saw so much talent, I saw so much going here, and it was all the fact that it was already here. I wasn't viewing it in the lens of the world. I was viewing it in the lens of this all I know.
Right, and thinking, damn, this all I know. Like, what if this ain't enough?
Yeah.
And then go somewhere else and be like, bitch, I got it. Because that's what I always, so my love for Milwaukee always came, I was able to travel. I was able to go other places, right? And when I left, I was reminded of how cold I am. Yeah. Right? And then I was situated like, damn, shit, I ain't really went nowhere. I'm only really from Milwaukee.
Listen, I would say even going to Whitewater would be going somewhere because Whitewater and Milwaukee different.
True.
I ain't never been to Whitewater for a long period of time, but it's different. Like, so, that's a whole different culture that you had to experience. And then you was like, what?
It's Whitewater teach you how to stand on yourself. So that's the thing.
I love to stand on yourself.
Learn yourself, then stand on it like, okay, I'm kind of fucked up. You either gonna love it or not.
Yeah, and that perspective was able to like propel you when you came back. Like, no, I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Based on my experience. So, if y'all haven't noticed at home or even in the live studio audience, it's a little dangly right here. Also a little 4-piece right here. Hello, it don't stretch that far now. I got a fat neck.
And a hoodie on.
And a hoodie. Okay, I got a hoodie on. My neck ain't that fat. Okay, first of all, speaking of fat necks, it don't got nothing to do with a fat neck, but I worked out today, y'all. I ran for 2.5 miles. Okay, can we clap it up for that? Health is wealth. Okay, so my neck ain't that fat no more. But boom, y'all see what's on the neck, the fat neck. So these are what? What is these? We know it's a 4, but what? Talk to these people.
So specifically, what you have on right now is a 4 chain. What I'm holding is the 4 pendant. So that's that. And the 4 chain is my hand reincarnated. And then here is another 4 pendant on the earring. So these are the 4 hoops and then the 4 chain.
Let me tell you something about this hand. This hand is famous.
Talk about it.
They don't know where this hand been.
It has literally been around the world.
This hand has been around the world. Literally, if y'all have not seen Homeland, what is it called?
The Heartland.
I said the Homeland. Jesus.
That's one and the same. Shout out to
it is, because that's where it's my home. That part. So it's called the Heartland. Listen, if you Google the Heartland movie right now, you gonna see this hand.
That part.
You gonna see this hand. Could you hold up your foot real quick? You gonna see that hand.
Talk about it.
Cause we out here. It's out here and famous. So give it up for 4 shit. Y'all can get this right now if y'all want to. I had to go on and put a down payment on mine just so I could be here today. So how much? Where can people get these?
Okay, word. So the chains are $140. They are on pre-order because they hot and ready. But only when you ready. And then we have the earrings, the bundle for $280.
Come on, I love a good bundle. And it's the 4
hoops
and the 4 chains. Now, if you want to get real exclusive, I don't even know if I'm talking too much.
No, go crazy.
Okay, if you want to get real exclusive, you can go on and get the whole chain that say 4 1 4. It's a 1, y'all. It's a 1 pendant too.
The ones exist.
They out here. They shining. So
and
listen,
crazy.
How it depends. Look, I think some of our live studio audience members have some. So listen, they out here. So you need to make sure you go on and get you one. What caused this? Like, how would you like? We about to put a 4 around the neck of every motherfucker in here. Like, what happened? Like,
okay. So I made mine, and mine was to Kim and Ray, my love for the city. Right, and then
so that was a personal endeavor.
Talk about it.
It wasn't even supposed to be for the people.
I was gonna be real stingy. However, a friend of mine and my I guess partner in crime when it comes to this 4 shit, he was like, hey, if you do more of these, I'll plug you on them and we can like bust them down. And I was just like, okay, let's cap it at 414, right? And then he's like, okay, babe, that's what got him on. Like, okay, we got a cap, so it ain't gonna be for forever. Like, okay, right. It's an end point. Then like,
living exclusive.
No bullshit.
It's exclusive.
Talk about it. There are pieces that you could know somebody stole your piece because it's that unique, and we made it like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point. And so at like 50, we was like, okay, we gonna have to do more than 414.
Ooh, so not it went up.
So now it's unlimited. We don't know when we'll cap, but essentially, I want you and your mama your mama and your kids to have a 4 chain.
That's at least 3 of y'all.
So you know what I'm saying? In terms of generations, that's at least 3 of them.
That's good.
We going for 4.
Come on, I mean, you get your great grandma one,
maybe,
or get your sister,
your grandson.
Okay, get your sister kid one, cause maybe your sister got kids with a kid.
That part.
Come on.
And who knows?
But
yeah,
I'm not you timing me, and we gotta move on.
No, it's just the G-Shock. Shout out to him. I love to be sponsored. Call me.
Or call me, cause it's on this podcast. Okay, we shout out.
Call us.
We here.
We love to get sponsored. G-Shock.
Yeah, sponsor her. I ain't gonna rock it right, but she will dress me. Speaking of dressing, let's talk about something else that I think is a
Oh, we just flexing one time.
Wait, okay, good shit. It was let me put the chain right here on the mic for the rest of the show. But no, so speaking of fashion, you are also like, to me, like a I would say you are a Milwaukee fashionista, damn near like a Milwaukee fashion staple, or getting to that point.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Then, yeah.
And I don't know if that's putting too much on that, but I'ma say it because I've seen you. I've seen the outfits. I've seen them post. I've even seen people dressed by you, inspired by you. Mm-hmm. Come on, because it happens.
Talk about it.
It happens. Hello, this thing on, because it happens. But
sorry.
Okay, now I'm just like, damn, am I doing something wrong?
I've been more intentional.
Okay. Yeah. Come on, being intentional. Mm-hmm. But where did your sense of fashion come from, or your love of fashion? Or do you think you love fashion, or do you just like clothes? Because I think that's a difference.
Okay, word. I love clothes and recognizing that fashion isn't just with clothes. So I love fashion as well. Okay. Or recognizing that you can't just style clothes. More so, right? So I like styling things. I like how things look. I like the fact that I can express myself by way of clothing. In terms of when it happened, I think it happened when I was allowed to like dress myself, right? And I was young. My mama often said like she didn't have to dress me. You know what I'm saying? I knew when stuff matched young.
Now, my mama had to dress me.
No, I actually didn't want to look crazy. I like getting compliments young. Like, oh, that's cute. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, so I'm like, oh, I'm looking for cute stuff then. Like, well, if overalls are cute, then I want more overalls. Okay. You know, things like that.
Okay. So you was with the times.
Yeah, I was hip.
Okay, growing up.
Definitely, I was definitely hip growing up, and it was obvious. You know what I'm saying?
That 90s baby in you. Shout out to the 90s babies.
It's definitely a thing.
And we ain't gonna talk about the time periods, but shout out to the 90s babies.
In terms of influence and in terms of like recognizing what I like, I knew that young. Mm-hmm. Right? So
you just was like, I'm dressing for the rest of my life, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah. So look. So I was a label whore for a little while,
and that's a thing.
And I think that's just the thing, right? And then it got to a point where like my parents couldn't afford labels anymore. Like, you thought, ho, like, right?
You ain't getting that.
So then it's like, then we got to switch up the style, or more so, I don't have to. I'm gonna need to.
Yeah.
So what do it look like to not shop at the mall anymore, or being able to shop at the mall every weekend, or every time you need an outfit, you're able to get it. Like,
right.
Now I gotta mix and match stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, talking about put this with this.
You know, now I gotta coordinate now, and then we went to the Goodwill, like, and not. Because we wanted to. At first, it was like, we are poor, and I don't want to be here. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been there.
You ever felt that way? But in that moment of like feeling like that, my mama checked me, and then was like, You thought, because
Yeah.
this ain't even no cheap Goodwill. What you talking about? Like,
Talk about how we here.
So just learning that, like, it's tiers to how you shop and resell. Like, it's not actually a bad way to look at things. And in terms of like me coming into like my expressive way, I was learning how to recycle. So then I'm like, this is a way to reuse.
Okay, reduce,
so
reuse,
my
recycle.
perspective
I like
changed,
that.
and then I seen that there were labels at the Goodwill.
Oh yeah.
So then I went crazy. I said,
That you was able to be a label at the Goodwill.
Still, so now we get the flex.
Now we get to flex and dress it up on their ass. They didn't even see it coming.
Look, my mama almost hated it because now we at the Goodwill every weekend.
She pissed that she turned you on. Talking about, see, I
At the
should
Goodwill every weekend.
Yeah, let's go.
We working hard for the allowance. Like, what is it? What do I need?
That I'm doing extra chores.
What?
It's a $5
I need money.
boing out there.
That part,
Come
yeah.
on. The Goodwill got some good stuff.
That part.
We was going to the Goodwill with my grandma. My grandma used to call it bumming around. And it was so much fun.
This before it was hyped up.
Yeah, it was fun. I never, like how you said you was out at the Goodwill and it was like, I don't want to be here. I was like, let's get it cracking.
Yeah.
I'm in the toy section
Like
playing with the toys and shit.
My third
like,
time I was there. Like, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Y'all know I like to smoke. That's my thing. I feel like
Spark a little bit.
we don't even got to talk about it no more. We about to spark it up at this point. So, now one thing I want to say about drugs, and you had said this when I was talking to you earlier, but how do you feel about drugs? Like, what is your mindset on drugs? Like, what's your philosophy?
So, drug use over abuse.
Drug use over abuse. Can we just pause there? Mm-hmm. Because let me tell you something, y'all. I learned about like drug abuse as we all did, like in high school, going to health class. Like, this what your lungs gonna look like if you smoke. This what your liver gonna look like if you drink. Like, we all learned about that stuff, right? But it wasn't until I got grown that I learned what real abuse looks like. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people in our generation abuse drugs.
Definitely.
Even little stuff like weed, little stuff like liquor, like we abuse drugs. Let me tell y'all, I'm in a place in my life where I have learned that I am a drug abuser.
Okay, the first step is to admit that.
And I know that. And I have been cutting back on smoking. Now, do I smoke a lot? Yes.
Still.
Yeah. But if y'all only knew my life, college, I was smoking just to smoke.
That's okay. So that's a thing, right? So in terms of you smoking to smoke, then it transitioned to something else, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
But it started a bad habit because I was abusing the drugs off rip. Like, I didn't give it a chance to be like, oh, I'm high, let me put this out. I was never that type of person. I'm like, let's smoke this whole blunt. I got some more weed, let's smoke again. Like, I just had it was an issue. But we definitely getting it in check. Because it takes checks to get high. Mm-hmm. And if you ain't got it, listen, I have to get that in check. Because they got a budget for that stuff. That's real. My friend, shout out to Peyton Payne, go to her YouTube. She's a comedian in Dallas. She is funny as hell. She did a little bit about that. She was like, y'all got a budget for weed. Like, I learned adulting and I have to put my weed in my budget.
Yeah, because you can't be out here bad.
No, you can't be out here
out here bad, overspent because you spent it on weed.
Yes.
Now you a bum.
Yeah.
And then you can't be out here back because you ain't got enough money to spend on
I don't
weed.
never want to be a bum because of weed.
No, I don't recommend it.
I would not. So, drug use over abuse. You were in the medical field in college.
Yeah, I still am.
And still are in the medical field today. Do you feel like they're...
Health field, rather.
Health field, yeah. I mean, medical is medical is okay.
Subset.
Yeah. Her. So, that actually almost changes my idea because, like, when it comes to health versus medicine, you don't need medicine to be healthy.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
But recognizing that there's a different functionality for what you call medicine, right? Like running outside could be medicinal.
That part.
Crying could be medicine.
Come on.
Right? Weed could be medicine, right? So... Y'all. It's just a way of how you look at it.
We was really gonna get into this, but this is deep. Yeah. The whole idea of like weed, drugs, health, medicine, medical. That's a rabbit hole that I'd never been interested in. Even like in school, I wasn't doing biology classes. No, like Okay, we just gonna move on because that was tough, y'all. I don't not just move on, but
No. I think that's a good point. So this my PSA for everybody.
I love a PSA. That means public service announcement.
Definitely. So when you recognize that if drug use is over abuse, then you recognize that there should be a point where you don't use drugs. Right? So that's the point. And if you recognize that you don't use drugs, then you should also know for yourself you can't do all the drugs. Like, everybody can't do everything, right? So that's also abuse when you don't know what drugs to do, when you don't know your limit, when you overdo them. And the overdo is a thin line because why people do drugs in the first place varies, right? So how much you're going to do it because of something varies. Right, but recognizing if you're doing something because of something and there are other modalities, mechanisms, or ways of doing something else, then you should first assess those before you use drugs. I'll argue that if you're gonna use drugs to help something, it should be your last resort. Right, and recognize that people are power. There are already
these
resources.
are all types of medicine. Like you were saying
resources
earlier.
around. Yeah, and sometimes you gotta withdraw from a lot of things to reconnect, and you not withdrawing if you connecting always to a vice,
to something,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's abuse, right? Okay. So that's just a thing. But there is a such thing as like harsh drugs and drugs that you probably shouldn't do ever in your life.
Ever.
That's a such thing. But people, bodies, minds, and souls are different too, right? So recognizing like drugs right here before us. Right, like they are just very inclined to your spirit, right? So you will use a drug for that inclination compared to abusing it, right? So it's just you gotta know you to know when you're gonna do drugs, or even if you can do them.
In school I did learn a lot. One thing I did learn was like math is the only exact science. I said that to say that means like the thing that they are doing in like the medical field with like different drugs and things like that, or medicines, drugs and medicines, same thing, or same one and the same, but it's not exact. So what might work for something may not work for somebody else, or the effects you get for one thing for somebody it may be different for somebody else. That's why I feel like it's vast.
Yeah,
you definitely got to be like intentional. When, like you said, know what you're doing, know what you're trying to do, know why you trying to do it. Like, it's a lot of stuff to go with drugs. So that's a little quick PSA on drugs, quick. So that was cool. So we're gonna jump into this next segment, y'all. It's called L's to L's. We're gonna drop a lot of gems, and these L's are just losses that were turned into lessons. Now, you don't have to give us the whole lesson because we've been talking. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to give us the whole loss. But we do just want to hear the lesson, like what you learned. So if you want to tell the story, tell the story. Because I love a good story. Right. Especially if you're a good storyteller. I can listen all day. But we really just want to get the lesson. So make sure y'all writing these gems down, okay? Write these gems down. Okay, so go ahead right there. L's to L's. Give us 2, because that's where the 2 came from. Like L's, 2 L's.
Okay, word.
The audience
so I don't want to say I always remix this, but I try not to look at things as loss, but more like lessons to love.
Okay.
Right?
Come
like
on.
L to L.
You was thinking about the podcast the whole time.
That part. So
okay.
What was a lesson that now is something that I
damn, baby long hair. No, just kidding. Don't be coughing in my studio. No, just kidding.
So I guess my first lesson is like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, it's gonna be okay. Like if you fucked up, it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's like that reassurance to yourself.
What?
Like it's okay. Because people tell you that all the time.
Yeah, but you gotta know for yourself it's gonna be okay.
Like that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
I think we were just talking about that in the class I was doing, but they were just like, don't like afford yourself some grace. Like it's okay. Like it gotta be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So boom, when you know it's okay, then you lean into mistakes.
Yeah, and that's okay to make mistakes.
Very much so.
It's okay.
You're not P if you're not making them. Actually,
I feel like it's
because you don't know what's proper if you ain't made the mistake to learn that lesson.
And then the only thing that will make you un-P in the process of making mistakes is what you do after you make your mistake.
I guess you gonna keep making it like now you don't want to learn. Like
come on.
Or you gonna
Because we all make
or you
mistakes.
gonna be
And
clear
like you
about it,
said,
and then
even
add that
players
shit to
make-
your
come on.
to who you is,
Come
build some
on.
resiliency factors, some coping mechanisms, and keep
Write
it
it
moving.
down. It's okay.
Keep it the fuck.
Come on.
Okay,
It's
so
okay. It's okay.
That's the first one. And I'm that lesson is moving to love for me, to love myself. Like what you said about grace, dignity, and mistakes, not shame and shit. You know.
Yeah.
And then recognize like it's okay, and then after okay, it's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? So
Come on.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Love
it's
superlatives.
yeah, it's just
It's okay.
It's
It's the greatest.
yeah, it's just a moment of time. You know what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
got to reassure yourself to say it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because more often than not, when I had to say it's okay, it was because I was going through something bad, or I fell down, or I'm sad, or you know what I'm saying? But like, it's okay.
It's okay. I had to make myself cry the other day. Not make myself cry. I needed to release. I needed a release. And I knew I did. And so like, I just took some alone time, and I played music that was reminiscent to what I
Wanted to release.
what I wanted to release. Yeah. It was really good. Like it felt good to cry. I cried, and I cry like regular people. I don't want nobody to be like, oh my God, he ain't crying. Let me check on him. Y'all can check on me, please check on me all the time. But I cry. You know what I'm saying? I feel emotions. But like I'm not very like, well, I'm comfortable being happy. Look at that. So I like being happy. So if I'm in a good state of mind, I'm just gonna be a happy person. If I feel other emotions, you will definitely get it. Or if it's not for you to get, you're not gonna get it. But if it is for you to get, you will. But I don't know how we got to that, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I
You
love
was talking to the second lesson.
Yeah, I love how open you are. Okay, so you just sharing how vulnerable you are.
Oh, and that's new for me though, to be vulnerable like that. I was like, what? It was fun though.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, and then my I guess my next lesson is me. And I'm in that, and that lesson is learning self to love. And that's a thing, right? So I'm in like so many transitions in my life of like what it is and what it's gonna be, and recognize like relationships are foundational and important.
True.
And you know, so I'm learning me again.
It's me.
Yeah, and like why that's important, and like my use and my abilities, and my value, and then reassessing what it means for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, just like to kind of reassess who you are.
You know what I'm
type
saying?
shit.
Like, damn, do I like doing this shit? Do I not like doing this shit?
You know they say your taste buds change like every 14 days.
That's definitely a thing. I mean, your stomach lining change every 3
For real? Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
But that's a real thing. So it's definitely reassess yourself. Like, not saying like you got to change things about yourself all the time.
Yeah,
But
that's
just reassess yourself.
It's
because shit do change.
No bullshit. Reassess, reflect,
Yeah.
and reassess, reevaluate, reflect. You know what I'm saying?
I love the reads.
So that's where we at, and it's a love thing because I was not leaning into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was definitely reluctant to like
To unlearn shit. When I tell you that's crazy.
assessing me. Like,
Yeah, because
damn.
why I gotta do that for real?
Like,
But you got to.
I'm valid. Fuck, valid like a salad in this motherfucker, but I'm not.
And
right?
but like I said, I feel like that's even taught though, like down the lines to be like, oh yeah, I'm good if I'm doing this, this, and this. But people don't ever talk about, oh, I had to change some stuff about me because I realized
to even
it was
get
wrong.
good to do this,
You know what
this,
I'm
and
saying?
this. Yeah.
Like people always gotta wait for somebody else to say something before they change something about themselves. Like you rarely hear about like or especially for older generations, like, oh, I had to look in the mirror and tell myself to, you know what I'm saying? It's more so like, oh, somebody said this and then I had to move around. But that's good. It's okay, and it's me. Reevaluate yourself. Reflect on yourself. Those are some good lessons, and I hope y'all wrote those down. We are almost out of this thing, y'all. But before we go, I gotta ask Radaya another question. 20 to life. Okay, did you hear that? She was like,
Fuck the police.
Listen, if anybody ever on this show and I be like 20 to life and they don't do nothing, they be like, yeah, what about it? You need to reevaluate your friendship with them because they don't give a fuck. 20 to life, that would scare me if I heard it. But
I don't even know what it's attached to.
Listen, you talking about fuck the feds, I ain't doing it, I ain't going. No, this is just, 20 years down the line, how old will you be?
I'm 29 now, so I'll be 49.
Oh my God, we is getting old. But we're going to be 49 in 20 years. Where do you see your life when you 49?
Oh my God. So I see me so fucking bad. Like, I see me just as alive, youthful, and knowledgeable now as I was.
That's not that old. That's not
then
old.
as I am now. And much more, like, no, I know that. You know what I'm saying? Much more, like, can you imagine me being flyer? Oh, I can.
First of all, I love a grown woman that's fly.
I
like
can.
That.
Can you imagine me being more racked up? Me? Can
present? I one in the building. Look at that. I feel it.
Can you imagine more love? Oh my God! Like it's so. I see that like. So 49, I'd be the mayor of Milwaukee by 49.
Oh, shout out to y'all.
Can you imagine it? Me too.
Me too.
Talk about it. So
too.
just imagine all of these things.
I can see that. Look at her resume. Come on.
So like,
y'all heard the 30 seconds.
So I just feel like now I feel like these things that I'm doing now are positioning me to like be happy about that.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like I'm building up me now to love me later. You know what I'm saying? And that means loving me now too.
Come on.
So
that's good. You remember she said that earlier? Come on, that's how you know she's intentional.
I'm trying to be.
Because we didn't even know who was going to say that, but she said earlier, she was like, I'm trying to do what I can do now because this affects the future. I ain't really too much like trying to build the future, but I'm trying to make my decisions now to be that future.
Yeah.
Come on.
Y'all remember that YOLO shit when that was around?
YOLO, you only live once.
You do and you don't. Right? And recognizing, like, if ancestral power is real, then you can't live only one time. If you recognize that everything is everything, you coming back some form of fashion. Right? And then if you recognize that there are, like, other ways to live, you definitely don't live once. So,
that's the thing. I used to say, your goal, like, you only got one life. Like, your goal, never mind.
Yeah, I don't feel none of that shit.
Okay.
Like, all the stuff you do gonna impact somebody else. So don't be fucking selfish. And that was a selfish time.
The Butterfly Effect showed me that. That was a good movie. Have you seen that? Ashton Kutcher? The Butterfly Effect?
I did not.
Okay, we were just talking about how a butterfly flapping its wings on one side of the earth can have an impact so bad that a hurricane is happening on the other side. Come
That's
on.
Very true.
That's deep. And it's a great movie. If y'all haven't seen it.
It sounds very environmental. I need to see that.
It's good. Okay, so now before you leave, just like before you leave high school, y'all gotta have the most likely to succeed, most likely to become president, most likely to become mayor of Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna play a game I like to play. It's called Most Likely. So I'm gonna give you 3 events and 3 names of people, right? And you just match them up however you want to. Okay. Your people are Glorilla. Yeah. Dr. Sebi. Sebi.
Okay.
Yeah, him.
Okay.
And Kanye West.
Okay. I'm all fans. I'm fans of all these people.
For
various reasons.
Yeah, I like these people too. So, your events or your things are find a cure for obesity. Lead mass transformation of the education system. And discover the furthest depths of the ocean.
Okay. So I'm gonna give the education to Glorilla.
Okay, I can see Glorilla fucking up the education.
Gloria, hallelujah.
Yeah, she's saved. She would have got the. I can see that because the kids love her.
What? I can see her being a cold ass Dr. Seuss. Go crazy. So she changing the game already.
Yeah, education system fucked up.
She's a literary canon. That's what they
do. Okay, Glorilla done made a children's book that's in the
Glorilla has been issued into the curriculum around the world. So I can see that.
Okay. That's good. I did not see that coming.
You know, doctor said we gonna come with cancer because he already did that. Didn't he?
Oh, find a cure for obesity.
He did that too, didn't he?
He probably did.
Oh, okay.
Shit, well, I'm still fine.
You ain't read the book.
Y'all give me the book on how to beat obesity by Dr. Sebi. I'll read it for sure, and I'll let you know if it works. I be at the gym too. Y'all remember that 2.5 miles I ran today?
Okay, then what was the other
And
one?
so that means Kanye West is going to discover the farthest depths of the ocean.
You knew that.
I can literally see him. I can see him
genius.
doing that. Like, I'm about to shoot a video down.
You be like, you niggas don't fuck with me. I'm finna
yeah,
go
I'm
to
about
the
to
ocean.
Yep, and there it is, y'all. Kanye West. That's your next move, and you heard it here first. As soon as it come on World
You
Star.
gonna find Atlantis for us. And be like, I love y'all.
Listen, Radaya, I really appreciate you being on the show. Let's give it up for Radaya one more time. It's been a great time. Anything you want to say? Shout out to the people before you be gone.
Okay, word. What Monique say? I love y'all for real, talking ass. But I love Milwaukee real bad. I love myself real bad. So the fact that I love myself and I try to reflect that in all the other things, and I love all the other things. You can follow me if you wanted to, wherever this gonna be. You can only follow me on Instagram. Like if you don't know me, you can't follow me on the other else. Like that is 4waukee, Big4. So the number 4, WAUKEE. And then anything else you gonna see me in a hood near you. There you go. Buy a 14.
Anyways, so you done? Because you just gonna stand there. You can cut this shit. He playing my way. This is easy.
Alright, thank y'all so much for coming and tuning in. We'll see y'all next time on the TheKeynoteAddress. I love y'all. Follow me everywhere at Keynote the Bishop on all your social media platforms. And we out.
Let's go. Grab your weed and just roll. Time to get high with the Keynote show. And you know what's next. Tune into the Keynote address. Yeah.